Hello guys, welcome back. So I guess I have to thank at Stick Up a Six Satanist for something. It did help me get back with my brothers and start working with them again. It was my idea to leave God, to leave, well, obviously you couldn't get me back on church ground ever, but to leave God, to leave the angels and saints. I was never told you or shunned, you must leave. That's church teaching. There's a difference between God and the church. There just is. There's a difference between God that I've experienced and the God of the Bible. There's a huge difference because the God I experience is love, not a demented psychopath that will kill you just for pissing him off. So I get giggles back here. And the angels I experienced are very different than they're presented in the church. But long story short, we started working on a home for them, and I had promised Jesus and I promised God that if I can ever get you out of here, I'm gonna build you a home, a normal home, not a sad churchy home. So, so you know what I mean, because the church is sad. I walk into a church and the energy is just sad because of the way they interact with their deity, and it's just there. And so we built this home and we're building it, and first I'm thinking to go to Michael because we did have a pretty good relationship, but Michael has his ways and he was being very like this, very lofty, very much like this. And Michael's just like that, but he wasn't attacking either, so that was actually a good sign. It was just like, I'm ignoring you. It had nothing to do with Asmodeus being with me. It was just like, I'm in a mood to ignore you today, and I'm ignoring you. Just so you know, I'm ignoring you. And kind of like you can tell he's looking at you to see if you notice he's ignoring you. It's kind of cute. But he's the most serious one. And then I got to Raphael, and he's a little fireball. I love him. He has a decorating sense of a toddler, and I say that in the most loving way possible. At least the one I work with, and we're trying to get Uriel and Gabriel and everybody else in there. And of course, we're getting Jesus in there because if you tell me not to do shit, that inspires me to go out and do it. And if you post a hate-filled rant about Jesus and the angels and Jews, guess what kind of temple I'm going to build next? And I'm like, it's like there's pure evil in me, but it only does good because good apparently pisses people off. So they have it, but it looks like the home I promised him. There's gay pride stuff up in it, and there's stuff for the angels, and there's stuff for Jesus, and then saints want to go in there. It's not huge, it's only like one floor and it's not even all the rooms. It's just like they have the gay pride area where they can, we installed a bar because I'm like, this is the god, demigod, whatever you want to think of them, that changed water into wine. You know, now people are gonna fight, and I am priestess of Dionysus, and they're gonna say, oh, I took all that from all the other cults. I don't really care. There's someone that interacts with me as Jesus, good enough for me. Gave them a bar because it would be kind of stupid not to. Gave them a coffee house because all the stuff the various Christian sects say you can't have, like coffee. I'm like, here you go, have a coffee house. Here you go, have a video game room. Have a fireplace, have worldly comforts. And Asmodeus was giggling because, he goes, you're gonna corrupt all the angels. So so he enjoyed himself, and we just enjoyed getting back together. And it was just like, it's not that I shouldn't work with my brothers, it's just that we don't have as much in common because we always work towards me, trying to be a good Catholic and trying not to be pagan, and that didn't work. But it doesn't mean we can't still find ways to work together and spend time together, and they seem pleased. And I think Michael thawed out a little. And Michael was actually pleased, and Asmodeus goes, look, you stood up for Michael. You stood up for the angels and saints. You stood up for Jesus. I'm like, nobody picks on Jesus. That's like the one divinity in the existence of mankind that never did anything wrong. And he goes, see? He goes, are you a good person or a bad person? I go, good? He goes, of course you're a good person. Why wouldn't angels work with you? Why wouldn't Jesus talk to you? So he's following me around. He's chattering because he gets ecstatic. He likes to build and decorate, in case you haven't noticed. if you're not compelling him to do stuff, he's very chatty and friendly. So he was following me all around and we were decorating stuff. And whatever you call God, I don't know if it's Jehovah or who it is. I really don't know. I'll never know. God is ineffable and unknowable. King Good Omens jokes back here. And I said, felt like God was amused because I don't think God gives, pardon my French, pardon my English, pardon my ignorance. I don't think God gives two shits who you work with. I really don't. The God I experienced never told me I had to leave the church or anything else, though he was happy when I left the Catholic Church because it's so toxic, but he never told me I had to leave because I was being called by other gods. He never told me I had to stop working with angels and saints. That was all on me because I had to grow out of that negative programming. If I want to go home and work with angels or saints or work with God or Jesus or whomever, they seem very open to working with people, as long as you do have to understand, though, if you're going to work with God or you're going to work with Jesus or you're going to work with an angel or saint, they don't curse people. They do not. They will punish wicked people, but that's different. Like if somebody's intentionally trying to harm people or somebody's spreading toxic lies or somebody's spreading hate, then yes, you can go to Michael or Jesus or God or anybody, and say, "Hey, they're a very dangerous person. They're spreading hate and that." And I might think they're a fool and harmless, but I would still like to see this addressed because I don't like what they're doing. Then yeah, you can go to them for that. You can work with angels to like stop crime, to stop, anything you see is wrong or harmful, like environmental causes or anything like that. And to me, they look at it this way: what kind of relationship do you have with the demons? If you're cursing people left, right, and center, then no, they're not probably going to work with you as willingly or happily. But if you're just giving people back energy, which is actually a little different from cursing, and look, he's like, keep telling yourself that. But if you only do it because somebody put out really harmful energy and you know they intend to hurt others, they might not be exactly thrilled with how you're working, but as long as they know in the end your intent is good, they'll be like, rather you had come to me or come to God, but fine. The only people that seem to have a problem with it are people that get overly married to religion. You know what I mean? People that get overly married to Lokeanism won't work with anybody else. Some people get overly married to paganism, want to keep it pure, and won't work with angels. And that foaming at the mouth crazy from last night is overly married to pure Satanism. And he's like the worst kind of Satanist, the kind of Satanist that makes the rest of people that work with Satan look stupid and clownish. It's just he's screeching about blood pacts and giving his blood to Satan, and you can do that with a deity, but you better know what the fuck you're doing. You better know, and you better know whether or not your other deities are cool with it. It's in Voodoo, we never have the practice, and you have to be fucking extremely careful because it's believed, like, say, if a Voodoo low gets a taste of your blood, goes, it tastes good. They may help themselves. That's the legitimate fear. So it's like an Oga's always vastly amused ladies certain times of the month, or if you have a certain time of the month where you have a cut and you're going to work with Oga, you have to say, "This is so not for you." And he's always amused, but I have a blood prohibition from him and I have it from Asmodeus and everyone else. They're like, absolutely not. That's not acceptable. Because if they want more, they're going to demand more, and if you don't give it, they may just take it. So you have to watch what the fuck you're doing with blood magic. Plus, there's a chance for affection and everything else. If you feel called to that, do a lot of soul searching, see if there's something else you can substitute. If you are going to do it, learn how to do it right. For the love of the gods, learn how to do it right and learn how to do it so you're not going to self-harm or give yourself an infection. Especially now with all the infections we have running around the planet. Please do not just start doing random shit. And it was so disappointing because these usually seem to be the people that get all the attention. And I'm like, why would you be afraid of angels? They're not. Other than Gabriel, because Gabriel and Raphael are a lot of fun. Michael can be, he can try. He can try. God's bless him. He can try. He relaxes and he suddenly feels fun. He's usually rather uptight. If you've worked with him, you know that he's usually uptight and intense. But I've noticed this guy said, he was terrified of him because angels beat this guy up on sight. I'm like, what kind of personality do you have that they beat you up on sight? And anytime he's worked with them, it's been a really bad experience. Well, a lot of it's up here, guys. It is. A lot of magic is up here. And God's angels, anyone, will react to your perceived conception of them. Like I always warn you guys, if you think Loki is the crown prince of evil, for the love of the gods, don't work with him because that's exactly what you'll get. If you think the old man is a crazy son of a bitch that wants to bring about the end of the world so he can fight in Ragnarok or something, and I've actually heard that, um, don't worship him because it's exactly what you get. If you think angels are these twisted kind of beings that exist to just punish the shit out of people, that's actually the job of demons in Christian theology, by the way. It's not the job of angels. Then that's what you're going to get. And I'm like, it sounds honestly, he kept screeching about Christians and everything. I'm like, he's actually got his theology backwards because the demons in Christian theology are the ones that punish people. They're actually doing God's holy work, is what they're doing. And there are quite a few Christian theologists that will actually tell you, God is the one that sends punishment. God is the one that sends bad stuff in your life. Satan and company only carry out orders of God. Is fallen as they are, they still are at the end playing exactly into where God wants them to be. Which, I don't carry truck with that, but you have to be aware that that theology is out there, that even demons are only doing the job that they were ultimately created for, and God had the foresight to see exactly what little shits and rebellious people it will be. And to them, that's, to them, they're disobedient angels, but that they're still angels. They may have fallen from God's grace because they said, no! And they tried to rebel, but that's where Michael comes in, and to bring it full circle. And I love my demons, by the way, before you start typing hate below, but you have to realize that from the Christian theological point of view, you have to listen. You got free will, but you really don't get to use it. It's not an option. Like, you can choose your clothes and everything, but you better make sure it's tight with God before you do anything. So anyhow, that's where Michael comes in. Michael is, the one who's the most loyal to God. He is like the most trusted angel. Probably because he came out right and Satan not so much in Christian theology only. And, when Satan or Lucifer, whichever name you want to use, rebelled and said, I am like God, he was like, nope, I don't think so. And they had a fight. And that's why this guy's terrified of him. So, this guy claims that angels beat him up on sight. And I'm like, no, angels don't do that. Demons will attack people that are doing wrong and doing wrong things. Demons will be, in Christian theology mindset, because he really comes off as Christian, even though he says he hates them. They'll be the ones that come and attack you, but angels don't attack people. Angels may destroy entire countries, but that was thousands of years ago, and it was an allegory. It wasn't meant to be taken literally. Angels didn't just come down and destroy entire towns or firstborns or something. It was meant to be an allegory of, if you go against the will of their God, that's what happens. But angels don't actually come down and attack people. So I kind of wanted to make that because it kind of was, in a roundabout way, as horrible as it was to listen to him go on and on. It was good because I started working with the angels again, and Asmodeus has been the one following me around, saying that, as long as you're basically a good person, you don't have to worry about anything. You don't have to worry about demons. You don't have to worry about angels. You don't have to worry about any god or goddess. It's when you start doing evil that they'll come after you. If Saint Michael would be causing havoc in a place, it would be because he is the destroyer of, negative or evil things. And really, if you're working with demons in the sense that I work with them, you see them either as demons, old gods, or whatever. They're not evil. They're not like really good, cute, sweet, but they're not evil either. They're gods or demons, and they have their own wants and needs and desires, but they're not evil in the sense he's making out to be. They run things that angels would not be suitable to run. I can't imagine any angel except for maybe the New Age variety running a gambling house, for example, or watching over, this or watching over that. Though in Catholic theology, no matter how bad a person you are, you still have your guardian angel, so that gives you some food for thought. So if you guys like what you see, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you later. Bye bye.